Welcome, everyone, to the Civitai.com stream. Please let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Let's give it a few minutes for people to come in. I've got some viewers on Twitch. Good stuff. Hello. Good to see you all. It's been about a week since I've spoken to you all, so I'm excited to run through this. Sorry about the timing. There was a conflict today. Let's give it a couple of minutes and let some more people filter in. Till the website updates. Yep, I haven't started streaming on the website yet. Let's wait until that starts. Hey guys, yeah, sorry about Discord. That's just too difficult to get all these platforms working at once. Discord is not one of the supported platforms for Restream, to my knowledge. Where's my Twitch indicator? Come on, guys. Hey, we're live on Twitch, finally. All right, guys. Okay, let me get started. So, welcome everyone to the Civitai.com stream. I'm your host, Ali, Civitai's Community Engagement Manager, and we are about to do Monday's office hours. This is your chance to bring me your questions and your concerns about Civitai.com, and I will give you all some updates on what we've been up to behind the scenes. If you don't know what Civitai is, we're a platform for the creation and the sharing of AI-generated artworks and tools to make those artworks. And we're swiftly becoming the Times Square of generative AI as creators flock to Civitai to share their creations. We have a huge community in the multiple millions and a 90,000 strong Discord community. Head over there, discord.gg/Civitai, full of great content. So if you're watching on Twitch or any of the other socials, I'd encourage you to head over to discord.gg/Civitai and check us out. And conversely, if you're watching via the stream on the homepage of civitai.com, or the socials, come over to Twitch and check us out there. When do we stream? Well, if you're watching on Twitch, you can check out the schedule down below. You can catch me every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, although today we're a little later due to conflicts I had in my schedule, and Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And my colleague Tyler has special guest interviews and AI video tutorial content on his slots every Thursday and Friday. Before I go on, some of you may be expecting the Twitch bingo to start, and I'm sorry to say that that's on hold until further notice. We have a lot to cover today, and you'll also notice that the stream looks a little different. I'm currently streaming out to all of our socials simultaneously on Restream, so you can watch the stream on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and Twitch, and the bingo doesn't really work for this situation, unfortunately. We'll maybe bring it back for some special themed streams in the future that we do only, dedicated Twitch streams in the future. Furthermore, we will not be streaming to Discord any longer. So if you were following me there every week, please hop over to one of the other social platforms I mentioned, and you can catch me there. K-Bro was counting on that bingo income for his retirement. We were going to have to bar you from the bingo anyway. You won far too many times. So let's get into it. It has been over a week since I last held an office hours stream. My apologies for that. I was a bit under the weather and a few other things came up. There's a lot has happened in that time. There are many points that I want to touch on today, things that we have covered previously in previous streams, but many of you may have not been present for that. Or this may be your first time viewing, in which case, welcome to the stream. Sorry, Ralph. Yep, no more Discord. It's just too much. Tyler hasn't been streaming to Discord for a long time now. I was holding out, but it's too difficult to stream to Discord and have a separate Discord chat, as well as stream to all the other socials at the same time. So now that I am streaming to all the socials on Restream like Tyler does, I really have to drop the Discord. Sorry about that. You can only fit like 25, 30 people in the Discord stream anyway. So, yeah, it's better this way all around. Okay, so firstly, big news is for those of you who don't know already, Maxfield, our co-founder and chief operating officer, left us for pastures new on Friday of last week. He has resigned his position effective immediately. He was with us for 2 years and he was instrumental in shaping and pushing the company forward during that time. His work was obviously a big part of our growth, and he was an integral member of the community and the leadership team. We are all extremely grateful for his hard work and the dedication that he put in while he was here. And a huge thanks to him for everything that he's done to set us up for future successes. So we do wish him all the best. What does this mean for the company and the community? Well, we're going to miss him, no doubt, but it's business as usual for the most part. Of course, we are now down a key player in what is already a very small team. So the rest of us will be taking on more responsibilities, and we may have to shuffle things around a little bit. So please have a little patience while we work this out. All of us were already quite busy. So Max leaving us leaves us with some challenges. Questions in the chat here. Yep, got a lot of love for Max. OnlyFans stream, is that still on? I don't know if Restream has the ability to stream to OnlyFans, but if it doesn't, we should totally get on that. Yeah. So I wouldn't say it's a promotion. No, absolutely not. No, definitely not a promotion. All right. Bringing it up again since so many people have missed it. We didn't really announce it on the site, but we did release our first Civitai transparency report at the end of the year, which has been very well received. I can put the link into the chat right now. There you go. I'm not going to run through it in its entirety, but what this is a way for us to show you how Civitai is doing as a business and perhaps dispel some of the illusions that many people seem to have about our financial position and where we're spending the money. So I would encourage you to check out the link, have a look at the report if you haven't already, and if you have any questions, you can send them over to me. Cool. All right, let's start with some site developments, which we've pushed out over the last couple of weeks, which have not been talked about. Lora training, enhancements. So we've made a bunch of enhancements to the Lora trainer. We have dataset management options in the Lora trainer. Now I wonder if I can pull these up and show you guys. Nope, wrong thing. Let's train a Lora. Test. Okay, here we go. Lora training enhancements. You can now, one of the standout features, I'm not sure why we didn't have it before. I'm really glad it's in now. You can now reuse any previous training data set that you've created in the past 30 days. So you don't need to hold on to them. Duskwall just saw the updates. Fantastic, yeah. So you can import in one or more of your previous data sets from the past 30 days. You can add images from the generator that you've generated recently or straight from your profile. So super exciting there. Now, just making you aware that we have updated the data retention policy to make it clear that we are now storing your training data for 30 days so that you can reuse it, should you wish, in the trainer. We made one other change to training last week, and that was to bring back the Atom W8-bit optimizer in the advanced options. So I'm happy that finally made a comeback. It was gone for quite a while. Yep. Questions, questions. Sure. Let's see, what else have we released? Oh, bring your own image. Huge. Let's go into the create panel here. Bring your own image is available for image to video right now, but you can drop in any image from any web page, including Civitai, straight into the generator to use as a starting point for, there we go, got one in here already, to use as a starting point for image to video. This has been pretty popular. I'm expecting it will continue to be as we drop more video services. We have LTXV image to video on the way. Don't laugh, because LTXV, Lightrix, pretty poor results if you're doing text to video, but the image to video is surprisingly good. We're dropping more. The Hunyuan model, Cog Video X, many options are coming. Vidu or Vidu, I think. A bunch are coming. So some of them, like LTXV, the image to video, we're planning to offer as an in-house service with our own GPUs rather than leverage the partner API services, which will allow us to offer some lower cost video services. So I'm excited about getting some model and pricing variety into the video gen, which will be a huge boost for it. Because it's no lie that right now the video gen services that we have are pretty pricey. So hopefully LTXV can give us a kind of middle of the road quality and cost. Okay, so speaking of video generation, we are really leaning into this. This is something that Justin wants to do. It's the next big thing. Not a day goes by without some new video model drop or news. So we are exploring Hunyuan. Someone tell me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. And LTXV training on site. No, not just generation. We're exploring training right now. The Hunyuan Loras that we already have uploaded to the site are phenomenally good. There's a lot of there's even celeb Loras out there now, like capturing people's likenesses. So we want to tap into training, get you guys training and generating with those on site. And our guys are working really hard behind the scenes to make this a reality. Cool. Next, private generation. So this just came up again today in our stand-up, and one of our devs is working on that this week. This is the ability to generate from a model in your drafts without publishing it to the website. Many reasons why you might want to do that. We're thinking it's going to be on a per epic basis. So, once you've been through the trainer and you have, a list of epics that you've trained, how do you know which one you want to publish? Well, that's where private generation will come into play. You'll be able to test it out before you choose an epic to publish up to Civitai, to the public side. I don't know all the details yet. Last I heard, it will be a Civitai subscriber-only feature. There's a bunch of interface work and kind of policy work that we need to do behind the scenes to make this work. So it's coming very soon. I'm excited about that. Just looking at the questions in the chat right now. What about Kling's start and end image to video? Yes, so the ability that you're talking specifically about, the ability to bring an image, like a starter image and also an ending frame that it'll kind of tween between the two. There's a whole bunch of Kling Pro features that we don't have the ability to use on site, like the layer painting, that sort of thing. We are working on those. We're looking for ways to implement those. Yeah. Image to image when? Okay, that's another good question. Soon, yes, that's also something that we want to provide. We've got the ability to do it now. We've got the interface for it, which is great. It does need a little bit more work on the image to image side. We're going to have to put in place some extra protections when it comes to real person content, that sort of thing. So it's definitely still in the pipeline. Justin really wants to make that a reality, so I would expect it to appear very soon. Doesn't the pursuit of video content make Civitai closer to scandals, like the one with Taylor Swift? The Taylor Swift scandal was an image generation scandal, right? I'm not sure how that makes us more susceptible to how video makes us more, especially susceptible to these sorts of things. And we have pretty good policies already to prevent that sort of thing from happening. All right, next, daily challenges. Okay, last question here. Will there be image in painting? Not yet. Not yet. That's something that we have not got plans in the near future to add. Okay, daily challenges. We've slowly been adjusting the daily challenges based on community feedback. There's still a ways to go there. I've got a meeting with Justin tomorrow. I'll be raising more of the feedback that I have. But we have made improvements. So CivBot, the LLM that runs the whole thing, now understands what pony diffusion is, which is a leap forward, and no longer requests ponies and unicorns whenever a pony resource is chosen. We're also adding a bit more human control into which resources are picked. I now have the ability to re-roll the challenge before it begins to ensure that we don't get a bunch of flux challenges in a row, for example. We also have the ability to tackle cheating in the contests, so spammy images. Sure, if you're super dedicated and daily challenges, let me just make it clear, daily challenges are meant to be a bit of lighthearted fun. If you are super dedicated and you want to get into the daily challenge leaderboard, that's great. But what's not acceptable is people entering trashy images to farm the participation buzz. Leaderboard, you might not know that there is a leaderboard for this, only it came out last week. There was probably not an announcement. If you have a look at the leaderboards, there is now a daily challenge leaderboard, which is driven by challenge points, which of course you get by full participation in the daily challenges. All right. So yeah, there is now a new rule in every daily challenge article detailing the consequences for low effort spammy entries. And that is the rule is that you're going to lose your ability to enter any future contests on site if you submit that sort of content. Your account will remain active. You'll be able to use every feature of the site. You just won't be able to submit to any future contest collection. And of course, as soon as this rule appeared, people said, well, what exactly is low effort? How can you reliably define that? Which is a valid question. The only people who need to be worried about this rule are those who are submitting literal blob images over multiple contests, or those submitting the same random images over multiple contests and just manually adding the required resources. Or people who, I'm not even joking, they write, I'm just posting these images to farm buzz in the positive prompt. 100% serious, somebody was doing that. One other thing to note is that contest banning is 100% manual. I'm in charge of it. It's not a computed AI thing. CivBot has nothing to do with it. So to date, I have only contest banned one user, and they did get a warning beforehand as well. They continued after the warning. Can you win a challenge without full participation? Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people think that because their images weren't judged, then they're not in the running to win. That's not the case. You just have to have an accepted entry, and that's you in the running to win. The reason why CivBot doesn't judge and comment on absolutely everything is because of cost. Every time that he makes a determination, makes a judge, or posts a comment, that actually costs us money through the service that we're using. So. Another leaderboard I'm not allowed to rank on, says Yuritaku. Yep, sorry about that. I know. Just forget the leaderboards exist. Yeah. All right. Bit of news now. Let me go back to the main page. Oh goodness, is the site working? Somebody would have won the bingo already. Come on. It's not looking good. Hey, finally. Okay. Okay, right. Bit of news. So a few weeks ago, we onboarded 80 new 4090 cards into our data center, and we still have more coming. Early February, I believe. They're being brought online slowly, but we've already seen great improvements. So they're a lot faster than the majority of our salad workers, our kind of cloud workers. And we're now doing the work of 70% of the salad-based generation with a quarter of the number of GPUs, our own GPUs. So the big benefit there is stability and speed improvements in the image generator. And looking at our timings for image generation, we are doing really, really well. Unstable gen says 18 or 80, 80, 80. And another batch of 80 will be coming soon. So yeah, generation timings are down, which is great. That's what we want to see. And everything has been a lot more stable over the past couple of weeks. So great news. This will also lead to opening up more checkpoints, which leads me to talk about checkpoints on the generator. So there are no change to the number of checkpoints available just yet. Last update I gave on this, I think we were exploring options with some of our current infrastructure providers. They told us they might be able to support all checkpoints. And I can confirm that we will not be moving forward with the first provider that we were evaluating because we just don't have the kind of financial resources that they were asking for to support all the models on their hardware. But we are still engaging with other providers to move that forward and exploring some more options. So a bit disappointing there. It would have been huge. It would have solved a lot of problems if we were able to open up generation to everything. But we're not disheartened because we still have options and we are still moving forward. Will there ever be custom flux checkpoints on the generator? Yes. Yes, for sure. But again, that kind of depends on the resources that we have available. What was 503? I didn't even notice. There was a 503 on stream. Tell you, someone would have won the bingo. All right, next. Let me actually pull this article up here because you'll probably want to see it. Change it to this one. Okay, so additional resource pricing. So we talked about this a few months ago, but it wasn't a good time. We had all sorts of problems. The generation timing was very high. It would have been inappropriate to release something like this. But now that we're through the holiday period, we've released the transparency report. You can see that we're definitely not winning. So we're going to be rolling this out this week. So to recap what this is, we will be placing a very small buzz surcharge on resources added to the generator for generation, but we're talking minuscule amounts, right? Based on our analysis of how you guys are using the generator, most people will see between a 1 and a 3 buzz increase per image. And there are a number of exclusions, so models that won't incur an additional cost. I can't really walk you through it. It's not implemented yet. There'll be an announcement when it goes live, but this article obviously is still in draft. You won't be able to see it yourselves, but it's got the new pricing calculation, very, very low change. So this one here is interesting. So added cost of using 3 Loras, 3 resources in your generation. One buzz. It's actually less than 1 buzz. So behind the scenes buzz is a decimal. It's only rounded up for display at the front end. So you are actually earning decimal buzz behind the scenes. If you've got 1 Lora on your generation request, you'll be adding an additional 0.6 buzz to your request. So this will only really come into effect, or you'll see the difference when you've got 10 Loras, 10 resources added. And this is excluding vase, and it's excluding any resource under 10 megabytes in size. It's also excluding any resource which is currently in the featured models. So I really think that this is going to have a minimal impact on generation. The number of people who are using 10, 11, I think we allow 12 for gold subscribers, and practically nobody's using that many. It's diminishing returns as well. The more resources that you use, the less, the less good your image is going to come out. I think we all agree on that. But some people are very set in their ways when it comes to they want to stack resources. So There's a bit of education that needs to happen here to try and wean these people off. Duskfall, what is this you're asking? No, that's not what we're saying. So if you make a lot of embeddings, um, no, you're still going to earn exactly the same. There's not going to be any change to the creator compensation. That's not how this works. We'll, we'll release more information at the time. If you do have questions or concerns about it, you can ping me, and I'll put together our frequently asked questions in this article before we go live. Okay, now further to this change though, right now everyone generating is in the same kind of queue, image gen queue. So we're planning to add new boost options to allow users to skip the line a little. Much of the generation timing is waiting for a GPU to become available to process your image. So we're planning a wee experiment. This week, we're rolling out priority pricing to Civitai subscribers, um, just to gather some data. So it's going to be on for a short period of time, and then we'll turn it off again once we've got what we need to know. So the way I understand it will work is that you'll see the count of the number of jobs in line ahead of you, waiting in a number of kind of buckets or priority levels, and you'll be able to use Buzz to push your request into a kind of smaller pool that's waiting in ahead of you. It's kind of like a queue skipper, very much experimental, though. The plan is to release this to subscribers this week. Um, Remember that subscribers make up an absolutely minuscule segment of the total number of users generating images. So we want to see how this impacts durations across the board. A bit of an experiment here. Um, the next step, rabbits are being loud, sorry. The next step will be to roll this out in open beta. That'll be the following week. So not this week, but next. Open beta, there'll be a period of time where we'll gather a wider range of metrics, and then we will turn it off again, and we'll decide what the strategy going forward is going to be. So not something that we're exploring immediately is also an interesting concept. The idea of an extra low priority queue. So if you're in no rush to get your generations back, we might be able to provide lower cost gens to run, whenever a GPU becomes available, and like right at the back of the queue. The reason that we're not going to release this right now is because of compute. So our dev that manages all this is worried that this might impact resource evictions from our GPUs, which are serving more popular content, and it might actually drive up times across the board. So we're putting a pin in this now. We'll come back to it, but it is an interesting concept. I think the ability to just say, hey, I want to put me to the back of the queue and charge me less. Question from Mar Mitsuki. Yes. New Lora pricing does count negative embeddings. Embeddings are mostly 99% under 10 megabytes, which are excluded from this additional pricing. So any file that's over 10 megabytes will be included in the pricing. If you're under 10 megabytes, regardless of what type of file it is, if it's a Lora, an embedding, a aesthetic gradient, whatever, if it's under 10 megabytes, it's exempt from the additional charging. Yep. All right. Next one. I am super stoked about this. This is huge. Absolutely huge. I can't show it to you yet. It's in my staging environment. It's not in the staging environment yet. I tell a lie. So if it was, I could have shown you, but it's not. You just have to take my word for it. It's amazing. Remixing, right? Huge, huge changes to remixing are coming out like imminently. This week, I would think. I need to do a little bit of QA to verify, but I'm pretty sure it's close. So first change relating to this release. So sometimes you will see the remix button, like this one here, on images which only have a modicum, a tiny amount of metadata. They might have a seed, they might have a step count, but no positive prompt, which is absolutely useless. You can't remix without a prompt. So we'll be changing that logic so that the remix button will only appear or if the image is actually remixable. And that in turn will make the image feed filter for metadata only, more akin to a remixable filter. Okay, the second change related to remixing, if you remix from an existing image, but you don't change the prompt or settings significantly, when you post that image, it will be labeled in the bottom right corner, like down here, as a remix with a remixed indicator. Much like we have the yellow flash for images that are made on site, when you click into that remixed image, you'll see a thumbnail. Let me just jump into an image real quick. Yeah, so over here somewhere, there will be a thumbnail of the original image that it was remixed from in this detailed panel here. If you go into any image detail page, there will now be a section right in here that shows the most recent remixes of that image. And it is hierarchical, so you can step from remix to remix until you arrive back at the original base image. It's not quite Artbreeder, you know. We don't have a full image lineage graph for performance reasons. That would cause the database to blow up, I'm sure. But this is the first iteration of the remixing system, and we're hoping to expand it in the future. So for all my testing, it might still have some bugs. It's a super complex system, so please be patient when we release it. We'll smooth things out over the next few days, but this is huge, one of the most exciting features we've released in a long time. Just looking at the chats here. What counts as significantly here? I can't give you exact details. There is an algorithm that examines how far you change the prompt, you know, how much you move away from the original before you'll get a message. And it's really cool, actually. Let me see if I've put it in my notes. Yeah, I can talk about it, how it works. So if you click the remix button, what happens if we click the remix button, but then we change a lot of the prompt and the settings? Okay, so when you click remix, let me get my thoughts in order here. This is complex to explain without having a visual aid here. When you click remix, the image that you're remixing will be shown in a panel in the image generator. Let's try it out, actually. So you're just going to have to imagine here. Help me out. So when you click remix, you will actually see the image. This image here of the crab will be shown in the generator, right? It gets shown above the prompt. And as you change the prompt and the settings, eventually you'll get a message in that box saying that your image is no longer considered a remix. It's varied sufficiently to create what would be considered a new image if you were to post it. And there are options to revert that back. So say you want it to be a remix, you can hit the reset button and switch back to the original prompt. So it's very cool. It's a cool system. Every image by default will show the 6 most recent remixes of it. There will also be filtering, I believe. So you'll be able to go to the image page and look for remixes or exclude remixes. So you can only see, you might want to only see OG images, and you can do that. It would be cool to have a visual representation, say script exe, a visual representation of the hierarchical tree with a parent of remixed images. Yeah, that's exactly what Artbreeder does. It's fantastic. It's really, really cool. It's a great concept, but unfortunately, difficult for us with our current database system to pull up the information all the way. There could be hundreds and hundreds of remixes. Yeah, but that's something that I've spoken to the dev about. He thinks might be possible. Yeah. All right, let's see. Next, tentative explorations here. Nothing concrete. It has been spoken about. Some things that Justin has indicated interest in. The vault. So right now, the vault system is, I believe, criminally underused. For those of you who've never used the vault system before, it's part of the paid subscription. You receive a huge chunk of storage space to securely save checkpoints and Lora's in. I can't show you mine because it's absolutely full of degenerate content, but the link is here. You save your Loras that you like, checkpoints that you like in there in case they're ever deleted from the system by the creator. So say the creator decides to take their checkpoints elsewhere, you still have download access to that checkpoint. And it's quite clever because it interfaces with Civitai Link, lets you download directly from the vault or push your Loras from your content from your local machine straight into the vault. So it's a cool system. It's just not, it's got potential that we're not using right or exploring right now. So what could we do with it? Well, Justin is exploring the idea of using the space to save your generator creations. So you know that generations are usually only kept in the generator for 30 days, and also training data sets, which are also now retained for 30 days. You may be able to push those into the vault. I find that's quite exciting. Good use for the space, you know. Civitai Link, a name I haven't heard in a very long time. Yeah, a lot of people still use it. It's pretty good, but we have not put any development into it for quite a while. Okay, to wrap up changes that we've made, I've got some small ones. So what else have we done? Let me think here. Oh, right. Okay. New changes. Model version notifications. So people were telling me, hey, I released a model and I've released a new version of this model, and my followers did not get a notification. Super strange, because I know we looked at this really recently. The dev and I looked at it and we finally found out what's happening here. So there is actually logic in place to prevent new notifications for model versions within 12 hours of the model post time, to prevent users from getting a flood of notifications, right? So I've revised this to 2 hours. So if you create a model, your followers will obviously get a notification. If you create a new version of that model within 2 hours, they won't get anything further. But outside of the 2 hours, sure, they will be notified now. I think that makes much more sense than 12. We'll have to wait and see what you guys think when you start getting a bunch of notifications. We're also adding new notifications for bounties created by creators that you follow. That one has been kind of notable in its absence for a long time. We are adding a category for the a-detailer YOLO models. There are only about 70 of them on site that I can find, but new ones do continue to be uploaded. And it feels odd that they're all just having to be listed under other. So they're getting their own model category for, like the hand detection models, the penis detection models, that sort of thing. Let's see, what else is coming this week? React tours. So it won't be such a big deal to you guys, but new users, I think, will be guided through a number of kind of like first steps upon account creation. These React tours will kind of hold your hand through creating your first images when posting it, and posting it to the site. Talks you through what resources are, that sort of thing. Exactly, in the chat here, feet detection models. If only we were playing the bingo, somebody would have had that on their bingo card. Yeah, exactly. So those models, they're still very popular, still very useful. A lot of people use a-detailer, and we did have plans at one point to allow you to use the YOLO, the a-detailer models in the generator, because we do have a-detailer. It's called face detailer. It does use YOLO models, so it would be nice if you could actually go and pick the a-detailer model when you're doing your generation. I know, exactly. Adjusts glasses. So K-Bro here has printed out his own bingo card and he's playing alone. That's sad. Sorry. Oh dear. All right, let's talk about some issues that we've had over the past couple of weeks. Big issue. Excuse me. Big issue affecting site stability. Um, Everyone asks all the time, why is the site so shit? Why is it falling over? I can tell you it's Redis. So Redis, which stands for Remote Dictionary Server? No. What is Redis? Is that what Redis stands for? I should know that. It's a super fast in-memory database that keeps information handy for quick access. It's commonly used to store data that a website or application needs to retrieve very quickly. So things like our user sessions, our cache data, kind of live updates. And for a website like Civitai, Redis is critical for us to be able to power things like the DM system as well. That's another thing that's powered. So yes, it helps us handle lots of traffic. When a lot of users are browsing the website, Redis quickly delivers that data to them without bogging down the Postgres, the main database. It caches a bunch of stuff. And yeah, the real-time features like notifications, DM system, that's all in memory in Redis. Because it operates in memory, that also causes problems. And recently, it's been filling up all available RAM. When that happens, it falls over. And it's a critical part of the site infrastructure. So when that gets into difficulties, the whole site suffers. You may have been logged out recently after one of our outages. That's because Redis lost all session information. Our DevOps guys have been working with the site devs to optimize what we're storing in Redis. Better memory management in place, more efficient queries, that sort of thing. All sorts of big brain technical stuff. So that is in hand. The chaps are working on it. And Yoritaku's just suggested that we download more RAM. Yes, we should do that. I don't know why they didn't think of this before. I'll suggest it. Okay, other things that are not quite right. Buzz dashboard, not quite correct. And we've known about this for a while, but that's on me. I have to actually do some fact finding and sit with the site devs, and we'll go through that. The charts, if you look at the charts, so the charts data doesn't quite match the transaction logs in every case, so a bit funky there. We'll get that looked at. We've also had a spate of oops, something went wrong messages being displayed when taking literally any site action. I brought it up to the guys. We haven't been able to reproduce it, unfortunately. So they're looking into it, but it's hard to reproduce. If you do see that, it's a big message. You'll click on something, you'll get a big message middle of the screen that says, oops, something went wrong. Have a look in your console, see if there's anything in there, error messages. And if you do have them, please shoot some evidence to us at support@civitai.com. Email us, that would be great. Okay, Kling Pro 10 seconds video gen is still erroring out. We're waiting for word back from them on what the story is there. The problem with these API services, very much a black box. We don't have any clue what's going on at their end. We have to shoot them a message and wait for them to respond and to resolve a lot of these issues. And further to this one, we have had some other Kling API issues. We're really at the mercy of these guys. They suddenly, they change the API spec and suddenly nothing works, and we have to run to catch up. And we currently have a hyper issue. I think there's a message in the generator right now. Yep, talking about it here. Their API for hyper suddenly changed to remove 1080p or larger outputs. So now we're having to force all hyper video gens to 720p in response. So pretty odd. We're working with them on that one. Over the weekend, we had a few instances, it happened 2 or 3 times, red images on the image feeds, images not ingesting very quickly, blank image cards sometimes, super frustrating because this is an issue with our provider, DigitalOcean. So DigitalOcean are our image provider, they host our images, and we have not been impressed with the service that we've been receiving recently. It's a money game, they're affordable. And the other providers that we might go with are, 5 times the price. So not great. But yeah, sorry about that. I can see in the chat already you guys saying that was driving you nuts. Yep, it's an issue for sure, and there's not much we can do about it, unfortunately. Devs are looking at it. Okay, let's see. Contests. Project Odyssey 2. Kind of winding down now. It is still the world's largest AI film competition with $70,000 in cash prizes, and the submission period closed on Sunday. But I did read today that the period, I think it's been extended because of the volumes of videos that Matty is trying to ingest or get onto the site. So if you submit, you still might be in luck. Might be some time left yet. The winners, 14th of February, I believe, will be announced. There will be an awards show like we had for the last one, which is in San Francisco. I don't know where it'll be this time, but I do know that it will be live streamed. Let's see. Oh, other contest. It's right there. Civitai's Year of the Snake Challenge. So you'll see an announcement at the top for all the details. We have a mini resource creation challenge, not really a contest, more of a challenge ongoing, focusing on Loras with a snake theme or a sinosphere, cultural theme, if you're not familiar with that term. Sinosphere refers to the East Asian kind of cultural sphere of influence, I suppose. Includes countries which are heavily influenced by Chinese culture. So obviously China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam. So anything to do with those countries and their culture is suitable for this little challenge we've got running here. These resources submitted to this and accepted will be used to drive the daily challenges for the remainder of January. Do note, like I said, there's no buzz prize for this mini contest. There is a participation badge though, and if your submitted resource is picked for a future daily challenge, then you get a ton of recognition, you get buzz from people using it in the generator. So last call for submissions to the Year of the Snake resource challenge is end of day 22nd. When's that? 22nd's Wednesday. You've put 2 Loras. There's no, yeah, you can put as many as you want in there. All right. Yoritaku mentions in the chat, LA people got some extra time. No, there was an email that went out today from the Project Odyssey account, which stated that they were still accepting entries. All right. Cabro, that is not even funny. All right, let's see. Okay, one last thing. A few people have been asking about Flux Pro 1.1 fine tuning. That came out a couple of days ago, before the weekend, I guess. Not right now. That's not something we're going to implement to Civitai for a few reasons. It's very cool, undeniably very, very cool. That's the ability to fine tune a full Flux Pro 1.1 or Ultra even model with very few images, and it's pretty cheap as well. I mean, in the big scheme of things. Unfortunately, it's not going to come to Civitai for the following reasons. Expensive. It's expensive. I just said it was very cheap, but when it comes to running it through Civitai, it's expensive. So we'd have to pay for Black Forest Labs API, then we'd have to put some money on top of that, and yeah, it just doesn't make sense. People already don't want to pay 600 buzz to generate a video. They're not going to want to pay 6,000 buzz to generate, or more, 10,000 buzz to generate a model. There's other concerns there as well. So you don't get the model weights after you've trained, which is odd. So you've paid like $10 to train a model. There's no guarantee that you can use that model that you've made in perpetuity. So it needs more thought there. The results are wild. They're very good, but this is going to be at the back of the queue right now. Plus, we don't have an interface for it. It would take a bunch of time, a bunch of dev work to actually make a training interface for this. They've got the API. I had a look at the API spec. It's full of options. Basically, it's a ripoff. I don't think it's a ripoff. It's probably got value in certain areas if you're a professional, but for our users, the types of things that they want to make, it doesn't really make sense. But yeah, I wouldn't say it was a ripoff. I might try it myself. You can train. It doesn't. You're not just training the model, like the main inference model. You can actually train one of the depth models, or you can train the in-painting model from Flux Tools. So it's very cool. It's just a bit odd how it's set up. All right. So I think that's it from me today. I have gone through absolutely everything. If you've got questions, throw them at me. Now, Great Dragon's got one here in the chat. Hashtags not being shown suggested while posting. That's intentional. The autocomplete is turned off for tags right now. The reason for that is we have got a crazy number of misspelled tags because it's free. It's free text. You can put in whatever you want. People were tagging things, celebrity, for example. So We had celebrity, we had celebrity, we had celebrity, all of the crazy misspellings. And as soon as you start to type celeb, it would give you all those misspellings, and people were just selecting them all. It's actually better not to display the auto suggest and just have you guys type in yourselves. It makes more sense. Plus, we tried to clean the tags up and we broke the website. There are so many tags, millions and millions of tags in the database. We tried to go delete some of them, and it absolutely hosed the website for about 2 or 3 hours. So we need a better way to do that, to clean these tags up. So it might come back in the future, might the ability to auto select, but because it has been a free text field for so long, it's going to take a lot of work to actually clean up. But yeah, that's a good question, and a lot of people have asked us about that. Any other questions? Cosmic Crafter missed the whole thing. Sorry about that. I'll put the VOD up on Twitch as soon as we're done. You can go back and watch them there. Did you think about some organization on profile renders? Don't know what you mean. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? Zilla says, so when people have to write them, there are less misspellings. No, there's probably more misspellings, but you guys don't have to see them. That's the plus side. Let's see, let me read up in the chat here. Somebody, you submitted 9 videos to Project Odyssey. Wow. When did you submit them? Have they already been accepted? Because I know that Matty has been absolutely slammed trying to accept all the Project Odyssey entries before the submission deadline. I mean, a way that we can organize our pictures. Okay, let's have a look here. Oh, okay, organization. So you can organize your showcase. I'm sure you're aware of that. So if you go to customize profile here and scroll to the bottom, oh my God, my scroll wheel is so slow. You can organize these, right? But images, just the main image feed, then yes, you are stuck with the newest, oldest, most reacted filters. Are there other ways that you'd like to organize your content? Let's see, it might be useful to have criticism metadata for each image and video so that in future images can be used to train other models, but the feedback such as extra fingers might be useful to negative train. I don't know if that's something that we'd think about putting in place. Yeah, I see where you're going with that. Okay, so you were saying I'm thinking about something like categories or libraries. So that was the intent of collections. The collection system is pretty basic, though. Doesn't really do what you're expecting it to do. Yeah, collections. There's a lot of work needs to go into collections. I don't really want to go in my collections because you'll see how much of a degenerate I am. No. I mean, it's all like work stuff, obviously. But yes, collections, we need to expand that. You need to be able to sort them. You need to have like, we've got a whole thing out there. It's definitely something that's coming for sure. Cat Girls Forever. I submitted mine yesterday, the original extended deadline, but it's still under review. Yeah, I wouldn't worry. I'm sure Matty will get everything in whenever he can. I have a question which I doubt you'll answer, but I have to ask: what happened with Max? I can't tell you. I don't know anything that you guys don't already know. Max, I can just tell you that Max has resigned. I can tell you that he's been working super hard. He's been very tired. He's got a young family, and burnout is real. We've all been there. There's a small team. It's it's difficult. It's very challenging. So perhaps that was an element there, but I really can't tell you anymore. You might have more luck reaching out to him and speaking to him. But please don't do that, actually. Let's just leave him. Give him some peace. The last I heard from him was that, hey, we'll still stay in touch, but I'm going to be signing off for a few weeks. I just need a bit of rest. So, yeah, please respect that. I hope it hasn't affected his health. Absolutely. Yeah. It could be an element for sure. Could be. Let's see. Bring your own image for image workflow. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Yes, bring your own image is already out. It's there. It's a thing, and you can bring images from anywhere. Oh, did you say image to image? Yes. Okay, that's coming. Not quite yet. Image to video. It's here. Image to image. Very, very soon. There's a few protections that Justin wants to put in place, but yeah, you can absolutely drag in images from anywhere. It works on. I think I've tried most websites. I've tried, all the big places where you go and source images from, including Civitai. But yeah, just drag them straight in. Fantastic. Gonna have to take that Max one out of the bingo. Well, the bingo's gone. I don't know if you saw that earlier on. The bingo has gone until further notice. Sorry. Will it be able to tell if it's an image generator on Civitai? The bring your own image? No. Bring your own image doesn't care about it. Doesn't look at the metadata. No. But if you wanted to, you could just remix it anyway. Remix would pass that in. Let's see. Added feature to collections so you can see the collection as part of the model page. Right. Yep. Other questions here. Is there a way to view the full showcase on desktop? Yeah, it's right. It's the first 10, isn't it? I believe. The overview. That's a good point. I'm going to note that down. Because you can swipe on mobile, can't you? Yeah, that's a discrepancy for sure. Thanks for pointing that out. All right. I think that's it from me today. Then I will see you all again on Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern. In the meantime, if you have any questions or concerns, you can reach out to me on the site DMs or email ali@civitai.com. Or if you're having a site issue or you just don't want to speak to me, you can create a ticket from the support button in the bottom right side of the site. There's a link to the ticket portal here. Or you can just email support@civitai.com. And that will get you in touch with us. That's it then. It's been a pleasure talking to you all, and I will catch you next time. Have a good one. I appreciate you. Thank you. Bye-bye.